I got one. He's nibbling on it. Hey everybody, welcome to Bayou Beasts. My name is Alex. Today I'm going to show you how I set up my rigs for flounder fishing. I primarily use jig heads and artificial like gulp, something like that. For flounder I have the best luck. For me personally, I use like a 1/4 ounce to 3/8 ounce at the heaviest. Sometimes you can use 1/8 ounce too if it's real calm. Jig head, and then I just bounce along the bottom, just small little movements, and then just pause maybe every 5 or 10 and just wait and see if I feel any of those little nibbles, or if eventually one just engulfs it, a big enough one, we'll sit there and just inhale it, and then they'll hold it and they'll slowly just start to pull down more often than not. So what I'm going to show you guys how to do is tie up your own rigs for flounder using 30-pound fluoro, and I know that's overkill, but and that's how I do things. Swivels, line capacity, test everything. I would prefer to never get broken off again, because I had a few fish break me off with 80-pound braid that I thought was going to be enough, and it sure enough wasn't, and it was all in a week, and it was just overwhelming. And so I just went ahead and I was nope, never again. I got some 150-pound braid, and all my leaders are 150 plus, and swivels are in the hundreds for big fish. Little stuff, I still like to do, double that fish's weight. There's no 30-pound flounder out there. But between the teeth, the rocks, after a while, if I want to keep throwing that same leader out and I don't want to change it out every time it gets a nick in it, I'd rather use something heavier. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to tie these up real quick. Alright, so now I'm going to show you real quick how I tie up my flounder leaders. I'm going to take about 18 to 20 inches of Seagar 30-pound fluorocarbon, and take that, go ahead and cut it. Alright, then I'm just going to use this basic jig head. I think this is probably a 1/4 ounce. And then the knot I'm going to tie is going to be a clinch knot, because I normally always use a Palomar knot for most things, but with this fluoro it kind of stacks up on itself, and it doesn't cinch down as tight as I would like it on the Palomar knot. That Palomar knot is the best for braid. I mean, that hands down, that is a pretty unstoppable knot. But for this, the clinch knot is going to work just fine. So let's see, I'm going to move this. Alright, so for the knot, I am going to loop one end through, okay, maybe take about four inches or so. Alright, so I've got this not crossed, nothing's crossed. Alright, so I'm going to hold it here, okay, and then I'm going to take this line that was coming out, I'm going to loop it around underneath, and then I'm going to hold it again. So I've got this. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap going away from me about 4 to 5 times. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, so then once I've got that, I'm going to try and make sure all my coils are lined up nicely. So I've got it kind of in this stop position right here, and I'm going to lubricate that with a little bit of spit. Okay, and then I'm going to pull down on my main line, the same time, tighten that one. And then what you should end up with is that, which is going to be a bunch of wraps on top of itself and keeps that line in position, and it clinches down. That's not coming off. So then I'm just going to snip that little extra bit there, and I want to always, with every knot, you want to leave just a little bit, because you imagine it's going to pull down the stress of a big fish. You don't want that tag going back through, because that could potentially unravel your knot. So we've got this end here, and we've got, still after the knot, we've still got quite a bit of fluoro left. Then I'm going to take my basic swivel. Like I said earlier, I tend to overkill. I mean, I don't really have any super light gear, so I don't even want to say what this pound on the swivel is. I think it's like 100 and something, but you know, I think a swivel being really highly rated is super important, because you imagine you've got a fish pulling on this and it's still got to spin freely under all that tension, you know. So if you've got a swivel that maxes out at, you know, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, and you've got a 20-pound fish on, that swivel is going to be really kind of pushing it there, and it might not spin as freely as it would if it was a heavier duty one. And that fish, when he makes a mean roll, he feels the sand on his belly or whatever it is, and he just rolls really hard, he has the potential of rolling off the hook because your swivel didn't rotate in time. And so, I mean, that's just one thing I personally really vouch for, is overkill on the swivels, because, you know, it's just a minor little thing that could, you know, end up costing you the fish of a lifetime. And I know I've had my fair share of really amazing fish roll off the hook, and it's just not a good feeling. So same thing here. Got our knot. Clip that tag. Alright, and now we have our leader. So, last part I'm going to show you is how to correctly hook the bait, or the artificial plastic, on this jig head. So I'm just going to use one of these Gulp. It's like a 4-inch swimming mullet. These work great for flounder. The shrimp, things like that really, you know, do well. So I'm going to want to hook him pretty much dead center, but I want the hook to exit his body at the same length right here, because I want his head to back up here. So I'm going to imagine my hook's going to come out right where that pink meets the white, pretty much. So I'm just going to slide it down and then try and pop that hook out right there. Boom. And that is your flounder setup. And this is just going to bounce along the bottom, and soon enough you're just going to nail on it. I mean, so the thing about this is there is a big possibility of snags. You've got a lot of exposed hook just bouncing around the bottom, and flounder tend to hang out in places where there are some sort of structure. So more often than not, you're going to get hung up. Best advice I have, if you're waiting, go out there and just try and get it from a different direction. Just, you know, tap on it and try and get it undone. If not, you know, you're not waiting, you don't have a way to get it undone, just make a few extra leaders before you go out. But yeah, so that's all for my flounder rig up, and we're gonna go out and see if we can get some fish. I think we're gonna go down towards the ship channel, towards the ferry, and see what we can get. So let's see. So alright everybody, so we are on the ferry on our way to Bolivar Peninsula, and so it seems like they're biting. I was just in line waiting for the ferry, and I didn't really think much about it, so I didn't have my camera on, but just while I was in line, I just bagged this guy. So that's a solid keeper. He's probably 17 probably, but yeah, not bad for, you know, just sitting in line for 10 minutes. It's a pretty good start. him up, lift him up, lift him up. Keep him on, keep him on, keep him on, keep him on. Come on, I got you, I got you, I got you. Oh, that's a sick one. Oh, that's a sick one. That's a 20 something. Oh, it's okay, it's okay. I'm getting him. Oh my God, that's a halibut, bro. Oh, get the, come here, come here, come here. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah! Yeah, bro. That was totally my fish from earlier. I'm just kidding. Go. Alright, so welcome to the conclusion of Bayou Beasts episode 2. Oh man, what a morning slash night, or whatever that was. It was a long one, that's for sure. But, you know, my goal was to go out and get some flounder, and we did that. Within the first 5 minutes, like, I pulled up to the ferry, and I went right there, you know, those rocks right to the left or right of the ferry, and, I think it was like 4th, maybe 5th cast. First cast, I got, like, an undersize. He was like, way undersized, but it was pretty cool. He was cute. It would be cool if he had a fish tank. But, yeah, so 4th or 5th cast, got a 17-inch flounder, and then I had to run back to the car because they were loading the ferry, so I'm like scrambling and carrying my flopping fish back to the car. And then headed to Bolivar, got on, you know, on that part of the island, went out there, super quiet. You know, for the most part, up until like 6 o'clock. That's when I got the big bull red run. Before that, everything was just getting torn up by hardheads, like catfish and stuff. So around like 6:30, you know, I got that run, and then I landed that. It was right around 41, 42-inch bull red. And that was really fun, man. That was the first bull I've landed from the beach. You know, all the others I've got in the past were either from a pier or, you know, boat or whatever, and that was really sick. You know, like wading out in the water, casting out, like dealing with the giant pain in the neck that is, but, you know, it's pretty rewarding, and so that was really fun and a surprise. I mean, I went for flounder and I got my PB redfish, so that was pretty wild. And then, yeah, so then later on after that, action died down over there, and went to the other side of the island towards the jetty again, went to the flounder side, and got an 18-inch, and that was it. That's it. So, pretty successful day, and we're gonna do it again soon, but thank you for watching, and again, click to subscribe. This is Bayou Beasts, and my name's Alex. This is episode 2. Thanks.